Okay, what I'm going to show you now is how you do the change of sign method on Autograph and Excel, and what you need to produce and paste it into Word. Okay, so I've already chosen this graph here that you can see. The value of A is 1. You can see that if you click on constant controller. A is 1. So my graph is y equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 1. What I'm going to do is try and get the root here between 0 and 1, this one here, and I'm going to hopefully try and set it up so that we can see Autograph and Excel side by side. The way you do that is make sure that you've clicked on the window, and if you hold down the Windows button and press right, that'll put that on the left hand side of the screen. And if we call up our Excel and then hold down the Windows button and press left, we've got the two screens side by side. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is get the Excel to show us that there is a change of sign in this interval 0 to 1. You can see that when x is 0 we've got a positive y value, and when x is 1 we've got a negative y value. But I'm going to use Excel to prove that, I suppose. So I'm going to call that x and f of x. You could call this y instead if you want, but I'm going to call it f of x. And I'm going to put 0 and 1, which are the sort of endpoints of the interval I'm working in here. And here, this is where you tell Excel to calculate the y value. So I'll be using this equation really. That's why I wanted the windows side by side. So what we do here is go equals this cell, because that's the x value, to the power of 3. So I've just pressed Shift 6 for this hat button. Shift 6, it might be something different on your keyboard, but it's usually under 6. And then I want minus 6 times. You have to put the times in. There's no times there. You have to put it in for Excel. This cell to the power of 2 plus 3 lots of this cell, and A was 1, so plus 1. And that's giving us, well, as you probably realise, an f of x value of 1. I can fill this down now. I don't need to type this in again. So if I click on this cell, put the cursor over until we get this cross here. Not this cross or this cross, this particular cross here. Press the left button, mouse button, hold it down and drag it down, and then you're getting minus 1, a negative number there. Well, these seem very nice whole numbers, but I don't think that's really a problem. So we can see that there's definitely a change of sign between those two. And I think what you'd want to do is you'd want to cut and paste this graph and this set of this table here into Word as evidence of a change of sign in your initial interval. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to maximize that page. I'm going to go copy page, bitmap, go into my Word document. Let's get rid of all this. I don't need to see all this. So I paste that in. There's the graph. You know, it shows the interval I'm working in. And then we come over to Excel, and I might cut and paste those cells into Word as well. I mean, you'll need to have some words written around here, but you definitely need these things pasted into Excel. Then you want to do your next step, so your next sort of zooming in, if you like, on the root. Okay. So at this point, you might want to zoom the graph in a little bit, just to focus on 0 to 1. Okay. And what we want to do on Excel is change these x values so they kind of go 0 to 1 in steps of 0.1. I wouldn't change them. I'd highlight this, copy it, paste it over here, and then I'd change this to 0.1. I'd write 0.2 in here, and then we need to start filling down. Okay, it's obviously possible to do this quicker, I'd imagine, but if we fill down anywhere where we've put a formula, we've got what we want. I've filled it down too far, so we'll delete that. And then you can see we've got a change of sign here, look, between 0.8 and 0.9. So that's kind of what we wanted to happen. So you might cut and paste this into Word. Where's my Word document? I'll put a few spaces in. And then we need to show this happening graphically. Okay, so we probably need to get it zoomed in so we can see 0.9. Alright, you could try this zoom possibly. There we go, that would do. So you can copy this in. If you've got the snipping tool, you might choose to use the snipping tool instead of the usual thing. Alright, you could snip that out like that and then paste that into Word. Alright, alternatively, you could use the usual thing, copy bitmap, and then you can paste that into Word instead. Alright, and if you don't like this and you've got too much, you can always crop it. So I've right clicked and I've pressed crop, and then you might not want that equation there, you might have written that somewhere else. You could crop that off, we could get rid of some of that. Double click outside. But you've definitely got here showing that there's a positive value above 0.8 and a negative value below 0.9. And then you just rinse and repeat.